Hello YouTubers, welcome to my channel. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and subscribe, hit the bell and the notification button so you'll be notified the next time I put out a video. Also, before I forget, I had a special guest do my makeup for my video today. We didn't quite finish, so I kind of have a lopsided makeup, and if you can see it, don't worry. It's not your TV set. It's me, is my face, okay? But just letting you know that, because I just noticed it myself, and I was like, wait a minute, I look kind of, oh, we didn't finish my makeup. So it looks a little weird, but nonetheless, I am helping someone hone their makeup skills, and I'm the practice person. So I wanted to talk today about the aftermath of what is still going on with the royal family and the aftermath of everything with Prince Philip and the funeral, the Oprah Winfrey interview, all that stuff. You know, it's just like all coming out like a snowball. It's just kind of like rolling and just getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And some things have come up that I've thought about. I wanted to talk about the fact that there is really no man-to-man meeting for Prince Charles and his beloved son, Harry. That just didn't happen. So there's an article in the Telegraph that I want to go over, but I also wanted to talk about the ripple effects of some other things that need to really be addressed. And we know that Harry has left. He is not waiting to go to the Queen or celebrate the Queen's birthday a few days later. So what does that tell us? It tells us really that things just didn't go so well for him. And we know at the funeral, he didn't look at anybody really. He didn't want to catch eye contact with anybody. He tried to have somewhat of a cordial conversation with his brother just to kind of like squash all those things people were saying about them, you know, not having a good relationship, you know, and for the sake of the funeral and the passing of their grandfather, they saved face and they were very cordial and they spoke. And I know that must have been really hard for William to do. I know for myself, it'd have been real hard, but he did it. He did it, and that's a good thing. You know, we were all very nice. You know, we're gonna put this to the side, and we just gonna keep it going. And then we're gonna pick right back up where we left off and say, you wrong. That's what's gonna happen. But for the sake of what they needed to do, they did it. And Catherine played the peacemaker. We saw she was able to kind of let Harry walk up and, you know, talk to his brother and try to, you know, have some conversations going. But think about the relationship that Harry had with his nieces and nephews, that he had with Charlotte and George and Louis. Like, he was a good uncle to these children. And then one day, just out of the blue, he's gone. I mean, they don't really understand what's going on, but you know, they will recollect when they get older about this time and what happened to Uncle Harry. This is the beginning of an exile. This is what it looks like to me. Like, they just gonna give him the boot. They gonna just kick Harry completely out the royal family because, you know, what has happened, it was completely unnecessary. And the children are going to really feel the effects of this later, that he had this relationship with. Not only that, but the relationship of the family of Catherine. Harry had a good relationship with Catherine's mother and father and sister. And I can see that this is going to really pave out just really bad emotions across family lines, and how it must be just so tragic on so many ways that maybe a lot of us haven't even thought about. What does this do for the relationship of Harry's son Archie and future daughter having a relationship with their cousin? They're not going to have that relationship that needs to really build as young children to grow together and to have things in common. They're going to grow up in completely different cultures. Their worlds are completely torn apart now from all of this. When he was already in the UK, like, he bolted, he was gone, he was out of here. He knew he wasn't wanted. I foresee this being a long-term problem for Harry and for Meghan. And they will regret it. If not, they probably have already regretted this interview. And the thing that I wanted to talk about as well is when this funeral came out. I mean, when the funeral was happening, Meghan coming out and saying, making a public statement through her friends that she is willing to forgive the Queen for the things that have happened in recent weeks. Now, wait a minute. You gonna forgive the Queen? So, like, you ain't wrong in any of this. You are the victim. Still, she is the victim, not taking accountability for anything that she has done. But she is going to insult the royal family on a day of mourning of a beloved matriarch of the family, to come out with a statement to say that I am willing to forgive you for what you did to me, Queen. And she came out and said that she didn't want to attend the funeral because she didn't want all the attention put on her. Well, if you just shut your mouth, then maybe no one be talking about you to put any attention on you. So we know that was a deliberate thing to make attention put back on her for saying what she said. Oprah just quiet. We ain't heard from Oprah. Like, somebody need to call her. Oprah, we need to hear from you. Did you talk to Thomas Markle? Did you hear that the lies that were said on this broadcast with CBS were all lies that have been proven? Things have been debunked that she has said. People have lost their jobs. You see the ripple and snowball effect of a lot of things are happening that are just out of control. She's got a problem. She has to. Like, who does this in their right mind? Who does this? And now Harry just following along like a little lost puppy. Yes, dear. Yes, dear. Oh, okay, dear. Yes, what Meghan wants, Meghan gets. And, you know, everyone's being mean to her. She's the victim. Yes, love, that's true. Yes, love, that's true. He's not thinking for himself, this man. He can only think for what the woman tells him to think. That is a problem. The family, the royal family, they see it. They know it. They be like looking at Harry like, what's wrong with you? You wrong. What? You are following this girl behind like you ain't got a brain of your own, and you gonna let her spew all these lies that are having a ripple effect, mind you, on your life, your family, the history, the years of tradition, the reputation, everything about Harry and what he represents is being jeopardized by this person. And Harry is not thinking for himself. And we can see that he's not thinking for himself because there was no meeting with his father. He got on that plane and he was out. He was like, I'm out of here. I ain't waiting around for the Queen's birthday because these folks don't like me. And good that he did not stay, because that tells me a lot. That tells me that Harry is feeling the burn and the pain of his life lessons, because he needs to be feeling it. He needs to learn. He needs to go back to California and be like having a talk with his wife and be like, wait, we got to talk. We have got to talk, wifey. So let's look at what's happened here in this article about Harry not staying. I don't know if you guys can hear my Mr. Otis, but he is sound asleep down here, just snoring away. Okay, so no man-to-man for Prince Charles and Harry as Duke heads back to the U.S. Yes. Okay. It says the Duke, of Sussex, so he returned back to California without even having a private meeting with his father. So despite a 10,000-mile trip, the Duke was either unable or unwilling to pin down Prince of Wales, who is still coming to terms with the death of his father. And I can imagine that would have made it really hard for Prince Charles having to confront Harry having just buried your father. Like, it must have been just too much for Prince Charles to handle. Too much for him to even bear at that moment. Like, looking at him just probably just made him ill sick. And I don't blame him. Because it's a lot to take in. It's a lot to take in. His brother, now, he would certainly have liked to catch up with his young nephews and nieces. So to me, that says that he is holding strong on what he has done. It also could be that Princess Anne and Prince Edward and his wife were clearly upset with Harry Windsor and did not even speak to him at the funeral. They believe that he and his wife have behaved badly, and their concern and protection for the Queen is a lot greater than those of two entitled children. He feels like he did what he had to do, and he's not apologizing, and what is done, and he's not sorry for it, because we do know that Meghan is even threatening to do another interview with Oprah. Now, imagine you wanting to throw all of this at the Queen when her husband has passed away, and you are threatening the family with, I am willing to forgive you for what you did to me. I just might do another interview with Oprah. Like, there is still raw tensions happening that they are throwing at this family in their time of mourning. Who does that? This is so profoundly wrong. I can't even almost put it in words. Like, what is Oprah saying at this moment? What is anybody who was pro Meghan at this point? What are they actually saying? What do they see what is happening here? Do they see the ripple effect? Do they see this snowball just getting bigger and bigger and bigger from this girl, this American divorcee woman of color? Do they see it? I don't know that they do see it. I don't know that they're even willing to recognize it publicly. Perhaps privately, at home, they might be like, oh, I maybe shouldn't have been so pro Meghan after all, because she was lying. Because we know she was lying because of the things that came out after the interview with Oprah. 17 proven lies. And Oprah won't even speak to Thomas Markle now to get his side of the story. Something is wrong. People are not looking to learn from this or to be the better person from this. They're looking to either separate themselves from what they know to be completely wrong, and they're not stepping up to say, hey, wait a minute, we need to do a rewind. Something is wrong. And the nerve of Gayle King to have the nerve to moderate the funeral of Prince Philip, knowing what she has done in the past by being so pro Harry and Meghan and saying, well, all they wanted was for them to apologize. Like, you don't do that. If you are a journalist, you don't say, you know, the demands of what this couple wants, like their truth is the truth. That's not right. But, you know, I'm all about teachable moments here. So what are we learning from this? What are we seeing from how Meghan is behaving? And how Harry is following along like a little puppy dog. Like, there must be something really, really wrong with her. Because I can't imagine anybody doing such mean and hateful things to family members. And we know we have proof that she's done it to other family members. Her own family, of her father, of her mother, her current husband. So there's a history of things that we are seeing that kind of give us some proof and evidence of things that we're actually seeing right now. So this is all starting to really come together in a way that we understand. Yeah. Harry's wife, something is wrong with her. Something is wrong with her. So the Prince of Wales was said to have been furious about the Sussex's decision to discuss private family matters on television, let down by his son and daughter-in-law. I can imagine that he is very upset. And to take that being upset on top of the death of your father, can you imagine? I would just hate to see what I would do in a moment like that. Like, the nerve. And they knew that Prince Philip was sick when they filmed this interview. They knew that he was dying. This was not a secret to them at the time. So you take all of these things, and people who are so pro this couple and they're good for you and your decision to leave the royal family, do these people really understand what is going on? Do they really get or see the full picture of the tragedy that we are looking at right now? Because it is a tragedy. Because you work your whole life. And then in your golden years of time of rest and relaxation, of I'm on the home stretch, I'm leaving a good legacy behind. And well, for Charles, he had a little slight hiccup, but I've done all these great things. And then I've got this knucklehead grandson, gonna do something stupid after meeting a wife. And this is like I've always said, like, when I said, now, Harry, whoever you gonna marry, don't marry a skank. And let's look at what didn't happen. Harry done married a skank. He done just gone crazy. Like, he has to have literally lost it if he cannot put his foot down for the sake of his family. At this moment, put his foot down. Does it have to get any lower than this for you to rise up and tell that woman that you married, look, you wrong. You wrong. Because at this point, I don't see that he's done it. Hence, he's not even staying in the UK. He hasn't humbled himself to say that perhaps the things that have happened and transpired are my fault, and my wife, we want to come to you, Olive Branch, forgive us. No, what does Meghan do? She threatens the Queen with, oh, I'll forgive you for what you did to me. Right during or after the funeral, before the funeral happened, excuse me. The nerve. It's just... And to do this to the Queen of all people, who has tried her best to live a very upstanding, dignified, never explain, never complain kind of life. And at this moment where she is being tested on that, like, I know I'd be wanting to just like, come out and say it. I have all this built up anger and wanting to speak out from not doing it for so many years. And then this little thing comes along and you feel like you're going to explode. It's like, she testing me, people. She testing you. Like, oh, you going to come and you going to try to test people now with your silliness and your wanting to be just put up on this pedestal of self-idolation. And this, the audacity of you and your behavior right now is just really, it is so unimaginable that this wife of Harry is continuing to do what she's doing after all that has happened. So yeah, he was upset. Prince Charles was really upset. A source close to him said the interview had caused pain and division, and that trust in the couple had been eroded. You got that right. It's like, we don't trust you. We do not trust you, is what it has transpired. And it's like, do they not see it? It goes against everything the Prince of Wales believes in. He believes diversity is the strength of our society, one source told a newspaper. And it's like, yeah, you go through all this effort to have diversity, to have someone come in that was completely different from who you are. But you know, probably against the wishes of people who were like, watch out for that girl, that Megan, like, she Hollywood girl, don't bring her into your family. And Prince Charles was like, you know, we're trying to open up, we're trying to, you know, show diversity. We need people like her to change the face of who we are as a royal family, and it'll be a good thing. Oh yeah, but she was the wrong one. The wrong girl of diversity, because she then came in and just started like everybody. The Duke of Sussex continues to say he respects his grandmother, but he has ridden roughshod over the institution she represents. You got that right. This is what Prince Charles has said. It's like think about what this is. Like during the interview, they said, "Oh, the Queen is great. We love the Queen. The Queen is everything." Oh, I forgive you, Queen, for everything you did to me. Really? You gonna say that? You gonna say that you love the Queen at the interview? Oh, I'll forgive you. Girl, get out of here. Woman, something. What's wrong with you? The institution, everything, they are just trying to find a pedestal to put themselves on top of, and at any cost. Literally at this point, when you can do this at a funeral, kick people when they're down in grief at a funeral. If you can do this, you will do this to anybody. You do it to your father. You do it to anybody. You do it to your sister. You know how she's spoken badly, like she don't know Samantha and Thomas Jr. Like she just kicking everybody under the bus. Don't even talk to the black family and gonna try to represent being black in Africa. Girl, you got some nerve. Now, while the Duke of Sussex and the Duke of Cambridge made a point of chatting together as they strolled back up the hill from St. George's Chapel, following the funeral on Saturday, Prince Harry was not seen interacting with his father. So I think that, Prince Charles sees this is a very good teachable moment for my son, and I ain't got nothing to say to him. He gonna keep it moving. They are thought to have spent at least an hour together alongside other family members, including the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, following the funeral service away from the cameras. But many believe the damage caused by the allegations about racism and mental health is so deep that chances of meaningful reconciliation in the short term are slim. Yeah, this is going to be a long-term solution, if there is a solution at the end of all of this, because we have the Queen now in her twilight years. She is a widow now. She has become another year older. She has unimaginable pain right now from the loss of her spouse. And at this point, to try to reconcile some nonsense must be extremely difficult. A Buckingham Palace statement said of the claims that while some recollections may vary, the issues raised would be addressed by the family privately. And I think that says it all. Privately is where it should remain, because I think this is where it will be best preserved with integrity. And don't put it past Harry and his wife to have a recording device, to have some content for their new documentaries that are coming out on Netflix. Don't put it past them, because to me, it seems like they're living a real life reality show. But unbeknownst to the royal family, they the stars of the show.